Alright guys, welcome back to another walking on water tutorial. It's about 93 degrees today. We're sitting underneath a tree out here on the edge of Fernan Lake up here right outside of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in the Panhandle. And it's a freaking gorgeous day and we are prepping for the Big One Derby coming up this week. Okay, it's a 5-day summer Chinook Derby on Lake Coeur d'Alene. And so before we did that, or before we fished that, I wanted to put out my new killer Kokanee setup, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I tie it up, how I fish it, what kind of leader I run, and everything you're going to need to know to get out there and be successful with my new favorite Kokanee lure. Alright guys, so the bread and butter of this setup is my new walking on water hybrid hoochies. And no, I am not being biased. I have put so much hard work, hours and hours and hours, months and months, and even years of testing. And my favorite type of lure is a hoochie with some sort of spinner above it for Kokanee, okay? And so I myself decided to start making my own type hoochies, which I now call the walking on water hybrid hoochies. It's a banded mylar hoochie up to a trolling head. And honestly, this is by far the best hoochie I have ever ran to catch Kokanee, and this is why I am sharing it with you guys today. My last killer Kokanee video was a spin and glow, and I absolutely love spin and glows, but the way I set this one up in particular is by far the best, most productive lure that I have fished with yet to date. So let's just cut the bull crap, let's get into setting this thing up, and I'm going to explain everything so you guys can get out there on the water and start catching a lot more fish. The leader that we run, and I usually use about a 17-pound leader. And why do I use a 17-pound leader? A 17-pound leader is a lot stiffer than most other smaller 10-pound, and the diameter is roughly the same, okay? So a 17-pound leader for Kokanee gear is gonna give me a little bit stiffer presentation, because when you're running a Dodger just like this, it whips around in the water, right? You're getting that back and forth motion like this, and it's really whipping it. And a smaller diameter leader or a lighter leader is going to absorb a lot more of that motion in the water, and with a little bit sturdier leader you're going to get a little bit more of a whip. And so I like a little bit more whip action when it comes down to my walking on water hybrid hoochies. So that is why I run a 17-pound leader. I just get a little bit more action, I feel like, on my hoochie. I've looked at these things underwater. I actually have a video on them if you guys want to go check it out, walking on water on YouTube. So just go check it out and you'll see how the actions work with this exact leader underneath the water, okay? So first things first, we're just gonna tie up with 2 hooks. We're gonna tie a non-slip mooching rig. And I also have a video on this on my channel. If you guys want a little bit slower version, you can go over to the channel, go to the video, and it will give you a step-by-step on how to tie up this non-slip mooching rig. But for this video, I'm just gonna tie it fairly fast. Put the line down through the eye and do 6 wraps. Really easy, hold the line. Go back up through the eye and just pull it tight, okay? That's your base hook or your stinger hook. Cut the tag, okay? Just like that. Give it a little pull. Then you grab your second hook, okay? I'm gonna run it up through the eye, just like that, and down. Now the spacing in between my non-slip mooching rig for a Kokanee setup, I just want about 1 finger length. That's enough spacing for me. Kokanee tend to roll a lot. Another 6 wraps here. And then up through the eye. Same as the bottom hook. Super easy, super simple. Kokanee tend to roll a lot and jump out of the water and splash around a lot. And you lose a lot because a lot of people say they have soft mouths, but they do have soft mouths. They have soft jaw structure in general. But a nice spacing in between your mooching rig is gonna allow for that fish to spin, and hopefully that second hook gets buried in it when it's spinning and rolling in the water on you. Okay, so now we have our non-slip mooching rig tied up. Again, if you want to learn how to tie up this non-slip mooching rig in more detail, go over to my channel, Walking on Water, and there is a video how to tie up a non-slip mooching rig, and it will get you guys dialed in on how to tie this thing up very easily, okay? Pretty quick and efficient. So next thing that we're gonna do, okay, I always like to, so we have a pink and orange hoochie that we're running here today. So I like to take 2 6mm beads, 1 pink, and we're just gonna slide it on the line. Okay, so 1 pink one down the line, just like that. Then 1 orange 6mm bead Okay. Right down the line, just like that. So we have 2 6mm beads, 1 orange, 1 pink, down to our non-slip mooching rig. Okay. Now we have our walking on water hybrid hoochie. Really easy, really simple. It's gonna grab it, pull a little bit of that mylar back so we can see the hole. Okay, and then just slide the hoochie down to your beads, just like so. Okay, spread out the skirt a little bit, slide it on down, nice and purty. Okay, so we have our walking on water hybrid hoochie slid down our line, down to our non-slip mooching rig. Okay, my rule of thumb with the hoochie skirt and the base hook, or the front hook, is that I want the top hook up inside the skirt of that hoochie. So if the fish comes up and hits the whole thing, it's getting hooked up on both. But if it comes, I like to run my stinger hook or my trailer hook a little bit below the skirt, actually hanging out, because first of all, kokanee, when they do come up and hit, they're not extremely line shy, and they're not extremely hook shy either. They're really just smelling that bait, and they're seeing that presentation, and they're coming up instinctually, and they're grabbing onto it, and they're biting it. So I like to leave a stinger hook out the back, and it just ensures the fact that when one does actually hit it, that we do get linked up a lot more than we don't. Okay, now that we have our 17-pound line with our 2 beads and our non-slip mooching rig and our walking on water hybrid hoochie slid down, now we're gonna go to the bread and butter of why this is my new kokanee killer setup. Okay, gonna grab 1 more 6mm bead, an orange bead, slide it on down the line just like that. Then we are gonna grab one of my favorite little spinner blades for kokanee. This is a 0.8 size Mac Lure smiley blade called UV Burst. A lot of people call it moon jelly, and this is my absolutely go-to kokanee killer little smiley blade. Okay, just simply, there's a little hole right in the middle, put it right down into the hole just like that, and slide it down. Then we have our walking on water hybrid hoochie new kokanee killer setup, fully rigged up with a 0.8 Max Smiley blade down to a 6mm orange bead, down to the walking on water hybrid hoochie, 2 6mm beads underneath of it, and then our non-slip mooching rig just like this. And this will 1000% get you on a ton more kokanee. If you have not tried a setup like this before, you definitely should. It's worth it. It's tried and true, and you will not be sorry. Now, let's talk about the leader length. All right, guys. So my leader lengths, I usually always run these teardrop dodgers like this, or I run a 4-inch sling blade, okay? Now, it's 4 inches long, and the rule of thumb is usually double the length of the dodger, right? So we have this, and we have our leader right here. So double the length of the dodger would be about 8 inches. But I consider my leader all the way down to my bottom hook. So I usually run a top leader, which I refer to as a top leader, anything above the terminal tackle on your actual leader itself. So I run about 8 inches up top, and then I leave the remainder down below, which honestly equates to about 11 inches total. So my sweet spot, my bread and butter, my tried and true leader length is always about 11 inches long for all these walking on water hybrid hoochies with the 0.8 Mac smiley blade above it. So let's do that. Okay guys, so we got our leader at 11 inches. We're just gonna do a standard fisherman's knot, which I just do 8 wraps. Okay.
It swam right up to us. Yeah, it swam right
Holy
up to us.
crap.
By any of our
You guys, check this out. You are not gonna believe this. I'm setting up this video. We're talking about hybrid hoochies right now, and my kids just pull this out of the water by hand. Holy crap, what an insane freaking fish. I don't even know what kind of fish this is. If you guys can fish ID this fish, hold that thing up for us. If you guys can fish ID this fish right behind me, please comment down below and tell me what this thing is. It looks like a freaking giant goldfish out here. And we literally my son literally just walked up and grabbed it right out of the freaking water. I can't even believe this. What the heck? This is insane. So check this thing out. That is crazy. It looks like a big old goldfish. It's got a big old orange eye. That's crazy.
I want to hold
We'll get a picture of it in just 1 second, okay? Wow, guys. My kids are better fishermen than I am. They're literally catching fish, big fish, out of the water with their bare hands right now. What a freaking special moment. That was super cool. Now, back to we're just tying a standard fisherman knot. Just 8 wraps around the line, up through the loop of the line. And then for safety measures, I like to put it back through the loop that we just made again with the line. I know that sounds confusing, but you'll understand if you're tying it. Just like that, suck it down. And there we have it, guys. We have an 11-inch leader on a 17-pound monofilament line, down to a 0.8 max smiley blade, down to a 6mm orange bead, down to our walking on water hybrid hoochie, again 2 more 6mm beads, excuse me, down to the double non-slip mooching rig. And this is absolutely my new Kokanee killer setup. If you guys have not tried this, or you would like to order any of these walking on water hybrid hoochies, walkingonwaterfishing@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up. Again, we are fishing the Big One Derby next week, and it is going to be absolutely insane. 5 days on the water. I'm fishing it all on my kayak, and hopefully we can get out there and get on the board and win some of that freaking prize money. Honestly, I don't even care about the money at all. I just want to get out this year. My goal for this year is to get out there and catch a weighable fish. The last couple years, I've not gotten to catch or weigh in a weighable fish, and I just want to get out there and be able to catch a weighable fish this year. So thank you guys so freaking much for tuning into this episode. This is the new Kokanee Killer Lure. It is tried and true. It has caught tons of fish. I put out a few videos recently on how many fish they've actually caught. People have tested them and they love them. So if you guys are interested, hit me up. If not, that's okay too. I just appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. I will see you guys on the water for the Big One Derby this coming week. I'm so stoked. 90-degree weather all week. I'm gonna be on the kayak. I'm gonna have my freaking little towels on my head and everything, but we're going hard for it, just like we always do. The big one, 2023. Catch you guys in the next one.